In this video, taking a break from all the Fallout 76 controversy and issues, we're changing our pace to actually look at a Fallout 4 and Skyrim Special Edition issue. This issue affecting one of the things most near and dear to my heart, one of the things this channel was built on, modding. So the gist of the problem, and I'll go a lot more in depth as we progress through this video, is right now on consoles, many people can't actually download mods for Fallout 4 or Skyrim Special Edition. Specifically being centered around the way you download mods through Bethesda.net, aka the in-game mod manager, but even further, this is not a new issue. This might be the first time you're hearing about it, but as you'll learn with this video, it's actually been going on for quite a while, and it's quite interesting as to why you probably have never heard about it thus far. If you guys do enjoy the content, you can leave a like or comment, or even just subscribe. We're getting pretty close to 400,000 subscribers. Either way, kicking things off, what's actually going on here? So as it does stand right now, there's at least a decent chunk of the community that can't download mods for Skyrim and Fallout 4. The exact cause of this bug isn't clear, but it almost certainly seems like it's going to be on Bethesda's side. It's not like a user did something wrong. And many people are actually dubbing this the operation could not be completed bug because that's like the error you get in the process. So if you're not familiar with Fallout 4 modding, on PC, a lot of people use third-party mod managers, whether that be Nexus Mod Manager or Mod Organizer. On consoles though, naturally those third-party programs aren't available, so what you have to use is the in-game mod manager through Bethesda. This technically exists on PC, but there's a very small portion of the community that actually takes advantage of this. So on consoles, the community is wholly responsible on Bethesda for providing this service and making sure mods work effectively. Well, over the past couple of months, there's been an issue with downloading new mods. Effectively, when you go to download that mod or re-download a missing mod, you'll get operation could not be completed, with no real justifiable reason for this. It's not like these people ran out of space on their hard drive to download mods. Typically, you only get 2 gigabytes allocated for Fallout 4 and 5 gigabytes for Skyrim, where the individual mod limit wasn't hit, like the number of mods you can have active. And the real reason you probably haven't heard of this issue thus far, and the reason it's not getting a ton of coverage, is when this actually popped up was roughly 3 to 4 months ago. It seems like around that time, there was some kind of change or update behind the scenes with the game that led to all of these issues. Do you know what also happened 3 to 4 months ago? The beta and then subsequent release of Fallout 76 occurred. So for that reason, there wasn't a ton of people paying attention to Fallout 4. I went with a month or two period where I didn't make like a single Fallout 4 video. That was the same period where this started to become a fairly widespread issue and people are realizing for both Skyrim and Fallout 4, hey, I can't download mods anymore. So naturally with these kinds of things, the community has several proposed fixes. There are massive threads out there and even videos covering this. This gives us a bit of a sneak peek as to how widespread of an issue this is. Many of those videos have tens of thousands of views, and it's not like this is channel dependent for a lot of those channels. It is one of, if not literally the most viewed video on that YouTuber's channel. But even further, some of the posts on Bethesda.net's forums have hundreds of replies and thousands of views, and you can actually find hundreds of other posts just by users saying, hey, I can't play the game. One of the big commonalities between all of this is a lot of people haven't been playing the game for a while, look to resume their playthrough, and as they go to load their save game, they get this error. It's something we've probably all seen. Basically, when you try and load a save game and you're missing certain mod content, it'll warn you, so you don't ruin that save game. Except people are recognizing that, hey, I'm missing all of my mods. They subsequently go into their mod manager and realize all of their mods are disabled and uninstalled. Then when they actually try and re-download them, they get this error. And again, this affects re-downloading existing mods as well as just downloading new mods. So in effect, it actually breaks your save game unless you fix this, because a lot of times you can't actually just jump back into a game if you're, say, using 100 different mods. There'll be a lot of stuff that is missing or not working properly. So as far as these actual fixes go, there are mixed results. Sometimes the fixes will work flawlessly. There's definitely been reports out there of somebody using one of the proposed fixes and they're good. All their mods will be re-downloaded and they can just get back to playing this game. There's other people out there that sometimes the fix will work, but it will only actually work for a limited amount of time and then they'll have to redo it. One of the issues being, even though certain fixes are fairly simple, like hard resetting your system, other ones actually involve deleting the entire game or deleting all of the game's save data. So naturally, having to reinstall Skyrim a few times will get pretty old pretty quickly, especially depending on how quick your download speed is. But then even further, there are also people that just the fixes don't work. They tried a lot of the proposed options and they're still left here with no no mods and an inability to download them. So fortunately, Bethesda has responded to this. They have addressed it at least somewhat. Back in November, right around when this was becoming more widespread of an issue, Bethesda posted a support article with proposed fixes. Several of these being overlaps with things that the community had already discovered, but just like all the other fixes I mentioned, these work some of the time, sometimes only for a limited time, or otherwise not at all depending on the user. So really, there's a decent chunk of people now waiting for Bethesda to release an official update, actually resolve this issue on the back end and prevent it from further occurrence. They have acknowledged this, saying that an update is on the way, but this has been acknowledged for a while. As I mentioned, that support article was all the way back from November of 2018. This has been a glitch that's been persisting for 3 to 4 months at this point, depending on which reports you go off of. As far as an ETA on when this update is dropping, I haven't seen anything in that regard, but just in general, I do partially feel bad for Bethesda. This is obviously 2 fairly old games at this point. I'm sure the actual staff that's still working on and maintaining Fallout 4 and Skyrim Special Edition is very small, and I hardly blame them for this issue or the lack of a fix thus far. But at the same time, the thing that makes me not feel nearly as bad is, if you actually look at Fallout 4 and Skyrim, in December they got new DLC content through Creation Club, with Skyrim's Creation Club releasing a brand new $12 DLC. That's certainly something that rubs me the wrong way. At that point in time, when that new content came out, this was a known issue for a couple of months at that point, and even Bethesda had acknowledged it. They were aware of the issue. Their support article was posted before that content went live. To release new paid-for DLC while there's still a subset of your fans that can't download free mods is definitely not a good look. And then even further, when you consider the fact that that all happened 2 months ago and we still don't have an official fix, that's not great. But again, I wouldn't really be blaming the community managers that are maintaining Creation Club or even the developers working on getting some of those things implemented. I think this really falls on the larger company of Bethesda Game Studios. I think this is one of those issues that when it's brought to your attention, you pull a couple of people off other projects to get this resolved. Maybe I'm just delusioned and don't have a good understanding of how things work behind the scenes, but that just seems like what would be the appropriate response. Both Fallout 4 and Skyrim Special Edition are really dependent on mods. When the 2 games were advertised, that was one of the main features coming that made people actually buy these games, especially with Skyrim Special Edition. And I would say the modding communities of these games actually help facilitate the sale of Creation Club content. Having a bunch of active players that play the game each week while playing some of those new free mods create a pretty good audience for the new paid content you also are releasing. Making sure you maintain that player base is probably important to continue selling content and just making people happy. We know there's future Creation Club content on the way, so hopefully we actually see this fixed before that gets released. But just in general, one of the larger concerns this presents to me is Bethesda Game Studios and modding of their games. On the PC side, things are fine. There always will be the community that probably could resolve issues like this or create a workaround. But in the consoles, as I mentioned before, you're way more dependent on Bethesda and their upkeep of their systems and just ensuring that mods are continually supported and their servers stay online. We're not expecting a new Elder Scrolls or Fallout single-player game with extensive mod support for a while. Like I would say at least 4 years or so. And until we see those new games, I'm just going to assume the modding communities of these older ones are still going to be thriving and getting a lot of new content each week as they have been for the past 7 years in the case of Skyrim. 4 years down the line, if another one of these glitches pops up, is Bethesda going to be around to fix it? Are they going to be willing to fix it? I certainly would hope so, but at the same time, this glitch has been around for almost 4 months at this point, and we don't have a fix yet. Even though some users have been able to figure out workarounds, there are also some users that haven't, and that's kind of concerning to me. I really hope this is something that gets resolved soon, and really my point with this video is to bring more attention to it, because for better or worse, Bethesda does respond to that. We've seen this executed quite proficiently with Fallout 76, but also just to direct those of you who are actually having issues with this to some of the resources, some of the YouTube videos I mentioned in this video, as well as the support article from Bethesda themselves, and even just the forum posts detailing other potential fixes. Hopefully you can resolve this issue, and hopefully if you're one of the people that have been unable to, an update is just right around the corner. Again, no ETA on that, but hopefully it's soon. And I would actually speculate one of the reasons this is getting a bit more attention now than it has in the past there's actually been a couple of Reddit posts lately getting decent support. It's simply that I think a lot of people are getting fairly bored of Fallout 76 and actually going back to Fallout 4 or Skyrim as a result. We recently saw that kind of mass, hey, I'm uninstalling the game following the most recent update, and I think these two things are correlated, at least somewhat. As far as future content on this channel goes, I just want to make a quick note about this. I have been hearing you guys. I know a lot of people are getting Fallout 76 fatigue. Fortunately, this video isn't Fallout 76, but even further, I'm going to be working on a Metro video coming soon, and I recognize some of the Fallout 76 fatigue is around like negative Fallout 76 content. I actually have some interesting stuff coming that's hopefully going to basically transcribe some of the good elements of Fallout 76 into video form. Like, there's actually some really interesting stories there that I bet you guys are interested in, but the way they're told isn't the most interesting. So hopefully through my video, I'll make it more interesting. I don't know, we'll see if people like it or dislike it, and that'll determine whether I go forward with the idea. Either way, what I'm saying is I've been hearing mostly what you guys are saying, and hopefully that's been reflective. I have been definitely mixing up my content a lot more. Either way, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this video. As always, again, I thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all next time, and hopefully this gets fixed soon.